Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Matthew Springer. He's with the University of Kentucky. He's Extension Wildlife Specialist there. Good morning.
Good morning, Joanna. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here because today we're going to talk about an animal that can sometimes be considered a nuisance on farms, and that's a beaver.
Yeah, they're definitely an ecosystem engineer is the term we use a lot, and then they're probably number two behind humans in terms of the ability to modify their landscape for sure.
Absolutely. And they are very interesting creatures, though. They're very industrious, very family oriented, but they can cause some water flow issues, some structure type issues around the farm.
Absolutely, yeah. So you've got a couple problems usually. You can either have some bank destabilization because their tendency to build dens and banks, or you can get into the problem where they're building a dam, obviously, and causing a backup, which is what they do. Because that's how they get to their food source safely is make a pond. But that obviously means that that water that they're holding back could end up in various places that you don't necessarily want it to be. Yeah.
And I think one of the frustrations is even if you clean that out, they're very industrious, very persistent. They'll come back and build again.
Yeah, so they tend to respond to the sound of flowing water, which is we've proven that by playing a radio tape that has the water going on. They go and try to dam up that speaker. But yeah, they in 24 to 48 hours can make a full size dam if they have all the materials still around.
How do they live in family groups? Because I've had some people say, well, I got rid of one, but it didn't seem like to make a dent in it.
Sure. So they actually kind of live in a basically a 3-year system where juveniles will leave mom and dad at the age of 2. So right about March is when they start dispersing, and they'll go follow a river system or a lake and find an area that they consider a home. Usually, what happens is they'll be a pair. They find each other, and then they'll set up a spot that they want to start their own family in, and they will have their first set of kits that first year. Those juveniles, that set of kits will stay with them, and they could be anywhere from 2 to 4 kits, stay with them until they're 2 years old. So there's another litter that happens. So another 2 to 4 beavers, all in that same lodge system. So you could have anywhere from 2 to upwards of 10, 12 beavers in one lodge.
Oh, and at 10 to 12 beavers, they can really be industrious.
Yes, they can cause a lot of damage very quickly. That's a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of felling that can occur to keep those teeth from growing too long.
So if you have these, streams on your farm, is it best just to kind of monitor those?
Yeah, so the sooner you catch them, the better. Obviously, it's a lot easier to get rid of 2 beavers than it is to get rid of 10 beavers. Just kind of pay attention, walk the waterway. If you have a body of water, look for tracks. It's, usually if you have beavers, they're pretty easy to find sign of them. They have very large feet. You're talking 8, 9 inch back feet. As well as, you'll see things like chewing on trees or feed piles where they actually pile up their sticks and they remove all the bark from it on the banks. So as soon as you see it, you usually know you have beavers. Slides are another pretty good indicator. Monitor if you find them, then you may want to look at trapping to remove them as quickly as possible.
And is trapping the best way?
Trapping is the most efficient way. Beavers, when they're naive to traps, are relatively easy to remove. So you want to make sure that when you go in to trap them, you have everything set correctly the first time because they can become educated pretty quick. So if they have a trap that goes off that they are not caught on, then that style of trap set will not work in the future on them. 330 Conibears are one of the best traps to use. You can also use number 3 footholds or larger up to number 5 footholds with a drown set. Are effective ways of trapping and removing beavers.
Okay. And you have to be persistent to get rid of beavers. I mean, they're super persistent and industrious, but you have to be too, because just because you catch one, like we said earlier, that might not get rid of your problem.
Yeah, you want to try to, I used to do nuisance beaver removal when I was in college, and we would go in for a weekend basically and set as many traps as we could find. Usually within a weekend, we could catch all the beavers in that area. However, we'd immediately go back within a week to look for more sign that was new to make sure that we did remove them all. Because if you
All
leave one
right.
beaver, you're going to get more.
All right, Matt. Well, certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.